Hey, Tamara. How are you
Hey,
today?
Courtney. I'm doing well, Goddess. How are you?
I'm great. Today, what I wanted to do is just really have more of an informal conversation. We did already have an interview about the Phoenix Project and sort of how you're navigating through the world right now that everything is kind of shut down. At the time of this conversation, we're actually starting to ease up on restrictions out here in California where we both are. And so
hmm
it looks like we're preparing for moving into the world. So I want to talk about that with you because I know you have some amazing insight. But if you could go ahead and kind of introduce yourself and let people know who you are, what you do, and let's start there.
Okay. I am Tamara Hill. Everyone knows me as TLotus. I am a law of attraction life coach and owner of the Sacred Path. And what I do is help people tap into the power within themselves to create the life that they want. Point blank, to create the life that they want. And help people to realize that the power is not outside of themselves but within.
Awesome. And what are some of the things that you do to support? So we're talking to small business owners and entrepreneurs, but you really do support everyone. But what are some of the tools that you have in your arsenal that you support your clients with?
Well, a whole bunch of stuff. I I do Lenormand readings, which is a card divinity system that helps people connect to the answers. One of the things that I teach my clients, and I also have a group on Facebook, and I do lives and tell them this all the time, is that the answers we seek, we already have, and the journey is to connect to those answers. So one of those tools to help connect to those answers is through Lenormand. And so I do that. I also write blogs, just on anything related to universal consciousness and manifesting, just giving people tips and tools to help them navigate this craziness that's going on around them, around us.
Right.
And I am a life coach. I'm a certified life coach, specified in the law of attraction. And I know that's kind of woo-woo. We've heard of The Secret. We've heard of the law of attraction before, but it is a universal law, just like gravity. And it's all about like attracts like. So I help people tap into that energy and use it consciously to create the life that they want. And so that's what I do.
That's
Um,
awesome. So what's interesting about what you do is I'm a very non-woo-woo person, but I'm also, I coach you, but you're also my coach. And so I've actually been able to utilize a lot of the services that you do use. And so I've found that it has opened up a whole new world of kind of planning and just having a greater understanding of everything that's going on around me. So though it is woo-woo, I've definitely found some very practical uses in my own life because I'm like the most non-woo-woo person I know. So that's
Well, believe it or not, I want to say 90% of my clients, and also people who request readings from me, are non-woo-woo. And a lot of it starts with curiosity, and it kind of speaks for itself. And when things manifest in their lives, materialize in their lives, they're like, there's something to this. So you're not alone. You're not alone.
awesome. So as you know, the Phoenix Project, which I thank you so much for being my guinea pig in my first interview and just being so on it and the support through this, because we probably wouldn't be doing this at all if you weren't like, get out there and do it. So that's the coach in you helping me coach. So that's fun.
Putting
But
action behind the intention.
absolutely. So the Phoenix Project is really about helping entrepreneurs and small business owners navigate through this pandemic and actually what's coming next. So like I said, we're in that place where things are starting to ease up. Beaches and parks are open out here. They're talking about retail even opening by the end of the week. And so really we're at a place where a sense of normalcy will start to kind of be introduced into the world. However, you and I both know there's absolutely nothing normal about what comes next because the world has officially been shook. So what I would
Yeah.
love for you to do is really to support and help people out there on what is the best way for us to go about creating the new normal versus falling into it. And I know that with the law of attraction, that's kind of like, that's your baby. So I think if you could just provide a couple tips now on how you would advise like business owners and small and entrepreneurs, like how would you advise them on manifesting the life that they want? And then I'm also going to provide information on how people can connect with you to continue that conversation and hopefully get your services, because as a client, I know that what you're about to tell us is going to be impactful. So I'm going to let you take it away and kind of let us know, like, how do we create a normal for us that's for our best, our greatest good?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this awesome project. I'm very honored. And let's see, you know, what I do as a teacher of the law of attraction, as a coach, it applies to personal as well as business, because it's all about consciously creating. And so as business owners and being entrepreneurs, especially now in this crazy, unprecedented pandemic that we're in, is not easy. It's frustrating. I can understand the frustration. I can understand the fear, because all of a sudden we had to shut our businesses down, and now we're slowly opening up and we're not knowing what's next. So what I want to say is, it's one of the biggest, I think, mistakes that people make is waiting for the answer to come from outside of themselves. They kind of react to situations or things that happen to them from outside of themselves. And a lot of times when we have those knee-jerk reactions, we feel, again, frustrated, we feel fear, all of these, and I just wrote a blog post about this, low vibrational emotions. And the key to consciously manifesting via the law of attraction is to raise your vibration to what it is that you want. So for business owners, of course, we want success in our businesses. We want abundance to flow. We want the clients and the customers to come back and to increase. We want all of these beautiful things, high vibrational things for our businesses. Yet when we only focus on what we can see and touch and taste and smell, we're limiting ourselves to what is, and the conscious creating that we can do, because we're so focused on the situation that's right in front of us. So the first thing I tell people is to stop focusing on what's in front of us. Now, for a non-woo-woo person like yourself and a lot of my clients, that may be very, very difficult, but it actually isn't. It just takes a purposeful mind shift from thinking about, oh my goodness, this is a pandemic, how am I going to get customers? No one's going to want to do this, that, or the other, to, you know what, my business is still alive. I know that customers are going to come, clients are going to come, abundance will flow. I know that the answers will come. And focus on that. Starts with hope. It starts with faith. And as we begin to focus on more positive things instead of focusing on the negative that we may see in front of us, all of a sudden, our realities change right before our very eyes. It always happens. You've witnessed this on a personal level with me time and time and time again. Now, this isn't related to business, but I want to give an example of something that affected me during this pandemic, and how the law of attraction and how I consciously created a positive outcome to a situation that happened to me. I am an asthmatic, and so I have a what is that? A
Pre-existing condition.
pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're part of that group of people. They're like, don't get sick.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I, I have been very, very careful. I'm a single mother of 5. I am the head of household, and so I'm the one going out to the stores and doing what I need to do for the house. But my medicines, because I didn't have medical insurance when this pandemic started, my asthma medicines were running out, and it got to the point where, and I was paying out of pocket for my medicines, but
work stops, and all of a sudden pockets
money
get different.
stops coming
Yep.
in, and right, and so I needed medicine, and it was becoming urgent. I dare to say it was urgent because I only had like a few puffs of an inhaler left. And I will say the old Tamara Hill, before I was hip to the law of attraction, before I became a life coach, would have said, oh my gosh, how's this going to happen? I would have panicked. I would have been emotional. My Scorpio self, I would have been emotional. And what would have happened was more turmoil would have come to me. But instead, I took a deep breath, and I just knew that the universe had my back. I didn't know how, but I just knew that it would happen. So as I was taking my medicine every day and those puffs were decreasing and decreasing, I didn't panic. Mm. What I did, and what I was led to do, and I say what I was led, we have a higher self and a lower self. Our lower self is our human selves, our thinking selves, our emotions, and our higher self is our spiritual selves. And so I was led by my higher self to just post something on my page, which is something I do not like to do. I do not like to do that, but I did not resist. Resisting is also another low vibrational emotion. And as soon as I did, not only did my Facebook family send me the medicines that I needed, including a $460 inhaler that I just could not afford at the time to buy. I got that. Someone just gave a brand new one to me. I got more medicine, overabundant, more medicine than I needed.
Yeah.
And it happened like that because I chose not to focus on what I did not have, and instead focused on the gratefulness of what I do have, and the knowledge and the knowledge of knowing that the universe had my back. So how does that translate in business? Because again, we are concerned, we are worried, we are stressed, we are anxious about what is to come. But instead of waiting for what is to come to happen outside of you, you take the reins and create it yourself. How? I talked about this again in my last blog post about our emotions, how we can think positive, our lower self, think positive as much as we want, but if the emotions behind those words don't match, then the universe is going to match and amplify the energy of what you're really thinking and feeling, not the words that come out of your mouth. And so as business owners, we really have to focus on what our intentions are for successful businesses, for abundance and a flourishing business. Mm-hmm. Just thinking about that, visualizing that. And then how do you feel when you visualize that? Do you get excited at the thought of, your business reopening and you not worrying about where your next client or your next customer is coming from, where your next inventory is coming from? How do you feel knowing that there's no worries about it? That feeling is what you focus on.
Yeah.
I promise you, when you focus on that, what happens is the universe matches that high vibrational energy. And the next thing you know, opportunities happen, customers happen, abundance happen. That loan that you were waiting on, and you never, because everyone's filing for unemployment or filing for loans and waiting and waiting and waiting. All of a sudden, you get an answer, and it's a good answer. Like that's how it works. So what I want to tell business owners who are really struggling to just try to find their footing in what's appearing to be this new normal, whatever that looks like, is to focus on what you want and not what you don't want, instead of what you don't want.
Yeah.
Focus on what you want.
That's actually been an interesting practice for me, because I am definitely like, I can be a warrior. But I will say, with your coaching and the things that you've taught me over the course of our friendship in this past year, I really can say that for me in this pandemic, where usually I would just tactically, like, everything's falling apart, I really just focused and took the time and realized that there were some blessings in it. And even the first blog post that I had to kick off this project was really about learning all of the lessons that are available to us in this pandemic. And yeah, writing blogs is a big one. I hadn't created content in 4 years, but now all of a sudden I have time. I had something to say. And so instead of thinking about all of the negative thoughts that come in when I have to put pen to paper, nobody's going to read it, it's not going to be smart enough, I'm not going to know what to say. Like, I just went for it and allowed it to be what it was going to be. And so I'd stopped worrying about the result.
So in what you said you just went for it, you wrote it and allowed it to be what it's going to be. You left it alone. You didn't resist, and you weren't thinking about, even a little bit you were in the beginning before you started writing. But once it was up, you weren't thinking about how many people are going to read it. Are people going to like it? It's like, it's up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now more people are reading it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All of a sudden people are learning more about CSD marketing and Courtney Dade, and they want to know more about this Phoenix project. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You set intention to write this blog and to start this project. You were resistant for different reasons, but in the end you stopped resisting, and all of a sudden the inspiration came to you. All of a sudden the time was available. All of a sudden things just started flowing. How did that happen, Courtney? Did that happen because of something outside of you?
Absolutely not. And it was interesting what you were talking about, higher self. For me, it took a while for me to kind of understand that, but really following my intuition, which is probably the same thing.
Yeah.
And like that gut feeling of like, just keep going. On the other side of this, it gets better. Just write it and it's written. Like, I go for really small victories. Like, once you write it, you don't have to write it again. Like,
but small victories are a victory though.
Yeah.
And exactly. So even classifying it as a small victory, take that word off. It's a victory.
Right.
And just like, I do weekly Lenormand readings. I have the videos up on my YouTube channel. Okay. So why do I have okay, my alarm went off. Don't know why it's going off at 3:40. But the Lenormand readings that I post every week, this week, the sun is one of the cards. And the sun is about overwhelming success and a beautiful outcome. It's about illumination, right? And so that is what is happening when we focus on what it is we want. And it takes practice. I mean, it seems very simple. It is very simple in concept, but it is not easy. And it's not easy depending on the situation. Yeah. However, I'm telling you, focusing on what you want instead of what is. And what I mean by what is what you see in front of you, what is happening around you. Accept instead of resist, and then focus on what it is you want. So I'll talk about this too. I talk about the emotional scale, which is not something that I've made up. It comes from Abraham Hicks, which is a law of attraction guru. The emotional scale, starts from the lowest of the low emotions and goes all the way up to the most exhilarating emotion. There is an actual diagram of it. And I always talk about the fact that we can't jump from unhappiness to happiness or from dissatisfaction to satisfaction like that. We have to work our way up. Mm-hmm. So, business owners, when you encounter situations that cause you to feel low vibrational emotions like frustration, even anger, even, irritation or worry, you're not going to get to happiness and exhilaration and satisfaction like that. You have to work your way up. So instead of saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is going to work, like we're feeling just overwhelmed, right? I don't know how this is going to work. Well, what is a little bit better than I don't know how this is going to work? A little bit better is I may not know exactly how it's going to work, but I know there is an answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't that feel just a little better? Mm-hmm. You don't know what the answer is, but you know there is one. And what's better than that? Okay, I know there is an answer, and I know that answer will come to me. It will come to me. That feels a little bit better than that.
Right.
And so you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, and so absolutely. You work your way up. Yeah. And it takes practice.
It does.
And that's where my coaching comes in.
So perfect. That's a perfect segue. So I didn't want to take a ton of your time. I appreciate this so much, but I did want to ask or allow you to provide some information on how people can connect with you, what type of programs you have, the things that you have going on during this time and coming up, so that people could get this help one-on-one and really, make changes in their businesses and their lives.
Okay, I provide coaching services, one-on-one coaching services through Zoom, Facebook, or over the phone. Was in person, but right now we're sheltered in place. I have a program called the Powerful Manifesting Program. And every client that has gone through this program, it is an 8-week program, and every client that has gone through that program has successfully manifested every single thing that they set out to manifest into their lives. 100% success rate with this program. So you can hit me up on Facebook, Tamara Hill, Instagram at TLotus11. My website is thesacredpath11.com. And if you click the Work With Me button at the top, you'll get all of the information on that program. I mentioned before that I do Lenormand readings. If you go to that website, thesacredpath11.com/Lotus readings, you can book a reading and help you connect to the answers that you seek, kind of help guide you. And Courtney, do the readings help you?
I love them. I think they provide a lot of just perspective and allow me to plan. Especially if I have questions where I already kind of know the answer, it just kind of takes me over the top so that I can move with more confidence in things that I want to do. So I've definitely found a way to use them in my life and in my business. So I appreciate them. And I've done like a blog for you about my experience with them. So absolutely.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I just added the monthly Outlook reading to my offerings. It's something that Courtney, I've been doing for you and for myself for a while, and decided to offer it along with the other readings that I do. I'm also an energy healer. I didn't mention this before, but all of that is also on the website. And one last thing is I do have a Facebook group, The Sacred Path. It is on Facebook, and so you can find it and join. I have daily affirmations. I post my weekly readings and blog posts as well. But yeah, that's what I have going. And I just want to thank you, Courtney, once more. Thank you for this opportunity to share what I do. Hopefully, just that little bit will uplift someone. And when you're ready, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'll be here to coach.
She will be. So here's what's great is that's not even all. So we have a whole article where she provides even more information and content to support the Phoenix Project and entrepreneurs and business owners to really navigate through the pandemic and just crisis in general, because the biggest thing is this pandemic is right now, but as business owners and entrepreneurs, we will run against things that are out of our control or seemingly out of our control at various times in our lives and our businesses. So again, taking all the lessons that we possibly can from this time in our lives and just having these rules and tools and abilities to navigate through any crisis, that's the goal and outcome of this entire project. So Tamara has a full article of great tidbits, and it's just another opportunity for you to understand the magnitude and power that she has as a coach. And so I hope that you all will take full advantage of it. I'll leave links wherever this video is. I'll make sure that you can access the article, and get even more tools to create your new norm, manifest the life that you want and the business that you want.
Your reality. That's
Absolutely.
Right. We're going to consciously create our realities after this pandemic.
Yes, COVID-19 may have shook us, but they're not going to tell us how we're going to move forward. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for being my first and being patient with all my technical issues. And I will.
This was fun. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Bye.